What's going on, guys? Today we're re-reviewing a cigar that we reviewed a long time ago. We're getting so many questions about this cigar, we gotta review it again. All next on the Zeal Cigar Review. Well, JB, we have two of the same cigar. One's a little bit smaller than the original, and you're smoking the Twisted Fate Masterpiece. Tell me about that cigar.
It's a very obviously familiar size in a figurado, little short figurado.
Yeah.
The Twisted Fate in itself, this blend specifically is a mix of the Sanitarium, Maduro, and Connecticut wrappers with Nicaraguan binder and fillers.
But what's fascinating about it, it's very, very smooth. It's incredibly smooth.
See, I think that one is really smooth. I don't typically smoke the smaller size because I don't remember enjoying it as much as I enjoyed the big box pressed.
Well, we're gonna get into seeing who enjoys what more, but you know what we gotta do in order to do that? We gotta cut, light, and smoke. All right, so we're pairing something with our cigars today.
You sent me out, dude, and I found it.
We're pairing something with our cigars that...
If you send him, he will find.
Yes, he will. And JB came back with a winner, Buffalo Trace.
Dude, at Walgreens, bro.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about Arizona, we're all a bunch of alcoholics out here, and every single convenient mart has like an alcohol section. So as a result of that, we found Buffalo Trace at Walgreens. So we're gonna be drinking this bourbon with this cigar and pairing it together and telling you how they pair. And more than anything, I can't wait to get into it. So here we go.
You know when you eat a fruity, like a Flintstones vitamin, like the hard vitamins? I got a little bit of that kind of sweetness off of the dry pull, like the dusted vitamin.
Is it cherry, grape, or orange?
I would go grapey.
Would you go grapey? Okay. All I know is I remember my parents force-fed me Flintstones vitamins forever, and then eventually I started lifting, and now I take my vitamins every day.
They're still Flintstones vitamins. They're just gummies now.
Hey, dude, this is really good.
I know.
Immediately.
I love... You know what's funny? The first time I smoked that, I didn't like it. But every time after I've smoked that cigar, it just gets better and better. And the first inch is a little different, but when you break into that, like, middle of that first third, oh.
Creamy cedar just from the jump. Very pronounced creamy cedar. Oh, man. And what Barber Pole do you see that's like basically a Churchill Gordo? Have you ever seen that? Yeah, box pressed Churchill Gordo. So what? It's 7 by 56?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculously big.
See, now this one's going to taste a little different off jump because I've got that Maduro cap all the way around on the end of it.
So this is the same cigar. This is the same cigar, but this actually, the Maduro is a little lighter on this one. And that one, it just varies from blend to blend, you know.
So far, I'm liking this better than I remember liking this size.
God, this is such a good cigar. It's one of the cigars that, because it's such in like demand, I often don't smoke it. But it's a very, very, very good cigar.
The toastiness.
I got toasty, cedar, caramel, nougat. That's what I have immediately.
Okay.
This has got to be one of my favorite fall cigars because it really does remind you of the fall flavors and, you know, the candies, the bourbons, the fireside stuff. I mean, it's really, really delicious. Oh, man.
I feel like this size has a little bit more body to it.
I imagine it does.
I don't think it's as sweet as that big one.
This is very sweet, very caramely, very nougaty, and some cedar. I mean,
to me, that's like a toasted marshmallow by the campfire. Oh my gosh.
I can get that. But let's see how it actually pairs with the bourbon. Remember, I'm on carnivore. You can't pour much.
You said it.
That's not usually how much okay.
I don't remember getting that much apple out of this. Very green apple scent.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, nice spices on that.
And I have 2 bottles of this at home. One open, one stashed. For the money, this is probably one of the best bourbons you can get. Don't say it.
Dude, I'm going to say it because I haven't said it for a while. Cinnamon pancakes. I got cinnamon pancakes out of it. Tell me you don't taste that with that spice on there and that green apple. Oh, it's so beautiful. The cigar by itself is good, but man, with that bourbon, you got some nice spice notes out of it.
Holy cinnamon.
I told you, dude. That cinnamon's pronounced on that.
On the back.
Yeah.
Way in the back, you just get all this cinnamon. I don't know if it's coming from this. It's got to be from this.
It is. It wasn't on here until I had that. It's that spiciness. I mean, it's got almost a cinnamon cloves pancake taste.
So these cigars were kind of interesting how they came about to begin with. Well, originally it was a little bit of a different blend. And the way that we kind of came up with it was one of them was like the Cocoa Chemist, and the other one was the Carolina wrapper or something.
Yeah, I remember the original.
We were just kind of talking about like the randomness of like getting the Cocoa Chemist, and then like the randomness of us. Well, I guess you could say randomness, but we know it's not really random. We're gonna say randomness, but it's not random.
It was ordained by God.
But the way that we met, the way that things kind of intertwined and reacted. That's how we came up with the name Twisted Fate. Because in a way, we were kind of intertwined into a fate that is these cigars.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, people talk about it once in a while on YouTube, but it's really ironic and or destined that two guys from Ohio who grew up apart, you know, maybe a couple hundred miles apart, ended up in the same city.
Played your family's golf course, like, no clue.
Right? You just never know, you know. And so this cigar really does celebrate those moments in life where it's kind of a twisted good part of fate. You're like, wow, this is really kind of cool that, you know, God brought two Ohio boys across to Arizona, brings in one into another guy's shop, and ends up working here and becoming such a great part of Zeal Cigars history. So I'm absolutely enamored by that, and I love the cigar is incredible by itself. But I mean, you're going to get through yours a lot faster than I'll get mine.
I thought I would too, but it's like I can't get past this the bulbous pointed end.
Cream bomb of caramel, spice, cinnamon, particularly with the bourbon. It brings out the cinnamon. It does have the pancakey taste with the bourbon, but I will say the cigar by itself does stand alone as a great cigar. It doesn't need the bourbon necessarily, but I will say the bourbon brings out a lot of that cinnamon and that pancakey breadiness in there.
That cigar has just been an absolute banger from day one. Absolute banger.
And everyone loved the reblend. Everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody was like, yeah, this is better than the other one.
Yeah, because the reblend was... I think we were talking to a manufacturer, and we were like, we really had a Barber Pole that we really liked. It was really good. It was on the lighter side, really sweet.
And it was like a Toro.
Yeah, it was a Toro. And it was really nutty. And then we also had the Storm Chaser, so we had two at the time.
The Storm Chaser was heavier, though.
A little bit more, spice and pepper. And then he was like, I got something you might like. Sends us that freaking thing, dude. And it was just a banger.
And I remember getting this cigar in and thinking, like, what is this?
Yeah.
I've never seen a cigar like that. That's a 7x56 box press cigar, and they're each one exquisitely delicious. I mean, they really are good. And then he asks about, and this is not a shot at Fuente, but he says, have you ever seen Fuente Between the Lines? And I'm like, yeah, it's a great cigar. And he goes, I got something for you. And so he sends us that. And I've compared it to Between the Lines, and I will say Fuente has more of a Cameroon, obviously, because it is a Cameroon.
Yeah, this is a little stronger.
I'd say that's, you know, in all honesty, I wouldn't say that ours is a better value, but I will say it's a completely different cigar than Between the Lines.
If we're not anything, we're honest.
Well, guys, we're going to hit the pause button. We're going to come back here in a few minutes and let you know how both these cigars are developing along with the Buffalo Trace. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back, and I'm kind of halfway through. JB is still working on his little nub that he's working on right there. I'm not judging. I'm just being honest. Here's the reality. Tell me how your cigar is developing.
It's lightening up a little bit, getting a little bit more creaminess, but it's still staying a little bit stronger than that one does. That one's a fluffy freaking...
It is.
Cool Whip ride, dude.
It really is. It's very light, very creamy, but it's got a thick, dense smoke. It's got some nice caramel, kind of that caramel nougat fades off into some sweet cream. Very, very light pepper, if any, on this. But I will say, I haven't had the bourbon because I'm not going to be drinking and smoking this whole time. I mean, the bottle will be gone. So I wanted to pair it again halfway through to see what it tastes like with the bourbon.
It's like you ate something that like Aunt Rita cooked, and Aunt Rita accidentally dumped the whole thing of cinnamon into the whatever she cooked. At least for the smaller one, lots of cinnamon on the back.
It's like a caramelized cinnamon with a little bit of a spice kick. That spice comes primarily from the bourbon, not necessarily the cigar, which is usually rare because cigars usually have a little more pepper in them. But this one has no pepper whatsoever. I mean, I'm pushing it to say it's at a 1 or a 2, to be honest. It's a very, very light cigar. Well, guys, we're going to put it on pause again. We'll come back in a little bit and tell you how cigars are developing somewhere between the second and the third, or the final third, whatever that is. Be right back. All right, guys, we are back, and we are pretty much 3/4 of the way done with both of our cigars. Tell me how your cigar is developing, JB.
A little bit more on the fuller bodied side than that one does, man. It really does. If there were any cigars that came in 2 different sizes that were the same blend that were very different, these would be 2 very different cigars, in my opinion.
I couldn't agree with you more, though. I would say that is a little more spicy. I'd say the pepper on that's probably like a 3 or 4. Pepper is almost non-existent on this cigar. Very creamy, very smooth. Had some really nice cedar, caramel, nougat, nutty notes in this as I got into the final third. I will say this, I've not paired it with the bourbon again, so I'm going to pair it because it just seems to get sweeter and creamier as I smoke it. So time to pair it and see what the pairing's like.
Little bit better on the back end for me with the pairing, but I think this might actually go really good with like a spiced rum.
The pairing on this is really complex because it has a different spice in there than it did on the cinnamon before.
Yeah, I'm not getting the cinnamon either.
No, it's like a very spicy sweet cream, but very like, I mean, obviously bourbon-esque, more caramely than anything else. But it really is a great cigar. I've been smoking the cigar the whole time, absolutely enjoying and loving the cigar the whole time. There wasn't anything about the cigar that I thought was negative at all. I couldn't fault anything.
I got the cinnamon that time.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I just finished the glass a minute ago. The second puff after that, I got the cinnamon.
It's a very good fall cigar.
Yeah,
it really is. So it's right. We're right into October. We're getting into November.
Next to a campfire.
Absolutely. I can't imagine a better cigar for the fall, in particular, outside the Twisted Fate.
Maybe some apple cider.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we want to hear from you and find out what you think about the Twisted Fate. So drop a comment below if you've had the Twisted Fate and tell us your comments on the Masterpiece and the Pillar, and we'll meet you down in the comments below. So for the Zeal Cigar Review, I've been Bradley, he's been JB, and we're out of here like you guessed it, last year. Peace.